land far away, on a little rock in the Irish Sea, is a place we call the Isle of Man. And on that rock, recorded live in the Utterbull Studios, it's Utterbull.
It's exactly what it says in the title.
And here are your hosts, Liam and Jason.
It's that theme music. And good evening. Indeed, here we are live at the Audible Studios. My name's Liam and I'm your host. Welcome to episode number 207. And I have to say, Jason, at 8:02, did you really think that we'd be starting at 7:30 this evening like you suggested?
No. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, it's in the Utterbull genes, isn't it, that we've got to spend half an hour while we wait for you to sort out your tech shit.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly. Just as you came on, like, seriously, you plug in a camera, you select the microphone, and you go.
I mean, it's 2024, isn't it? Like, it can't be any more simpler. You know, at least you had an excuse back in the day, you know, because it was a bit more. It wasn't as like seamless. But no, it's all you chuck in a USB port, USB into a couple of ports, away you go. What's your beef? Why are you making it so hard for yourself?
I don't know. It's because I've got this camera in front of me. This little. It's not even a webcam. It's like a handy cam. But it's a high definition no, it's not webcam. High definition handy cam that's sat on a tripod, a desktop tripod. That's then sat on a what do you call it? A teleprompter with a third screen. And then I've got my microphone that's plugged into a box that's plugged into the powers from the box that's then plugged into the computer. It took me 10 minutes to realise that I had to flick the switch on the box to put the power into the microphone. And yeah, I thought last time around I'd got the setup sorted, but because it's been a month since we recorded, I couldn't bloody remember how to set it up.
I mean, I'm sure the listeners are just as confused as I am with what you've just said, because, you know, like, okay. I mean, wow, yeah. I think you need to simplify your setup, Liam, and join us in the, well, you know, the year of 2024, and, you know, just use 2 USB ports and 2 USB wires for 2 different devices. Pretty simple.
That would be pretty simple. Now, if you've got to this part of the show and it's going to be a pickle because the camera kept cutting out and kept cutting me off and I disappeared numerous times. So good luck as we fight our way through this episode. But there are some moments in here that are definitely not to be missed. Wouldn't you agree, Jace?
Absolutely.
We hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
The bull.
So, Jason Essex. Wow.
Yes, mate.
We're trying to be getting listeners, not losing them. How's
Oh,
life
they're
in
loving
Essex,
it.
man?
They're loving all this stuff. It's brilliant. They're like on the edge of their seats. It's great. Don't lean back, mate. Don't lean back because you'll fall off the chair.
I know, right? Something else in the studio that needs replacing.
Yeah.
So, anyway, go. Talk to me. Essex, life.
Hello. What do you want to know?
I want to know what you've been doing for the last month. Have you been on holiday?
Yes, we have been on holiday. We went for a week camping in Wales, which
Lovely.
was very nice.
Now, when
Yeah,
you say camping, is this camping with canvas or camping glamping or camping in a caravan or what's the setup there?
This is camping in a tent.
Lovely. And separate bedrooms?
Yes.
So it's not like a scout tent where you just all are in the one room. You've got little separate areas for sleeping in.
Ooh, no. That ain't happening. Sorry, dude. No. No, this is, well, we've been camping quite a lot over the last few years, because it's cheap and the kids wanted to do it. And so we trialed it. We borrowed someone's tent. We went camping. Everything seemed to go all right. So then we bought our own tent. It cost us $1,000 because, you know, that's how much tents cost these days. I don't know.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it's like a 6-man. There's supposedly be a 6-man tent.
Okay.
But, you know, this is a 6-man tent when you're all huddled up together kind of thing, isn't it? And that's what they always say in the tents, isn't it? Like, oh, it's a 6-man tent, but really, in theory, it's probably a 4.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you always go 2 up. Even since when I was like camping back when I was a teenager, you'd always go 2 up higher than you needed.
Yeah. Plus, we need, you need room to store all your stuff and all your clothes and everything. So,
especially also having met your boys recently, having not met them for like 10 years, they're not just they're bigger than most adults.
Yeah, and like up until now, we've been able to get away with like me and the wife being in 2 of those pods. Like you can unzip the middle bit, so then you can turn 2 areas into 1 bedroom, basically.
Okay.
So that's what we've always done, and then the kids have slept in the other one, and that's always been fine. But now, like you say, you've seen my boys. You've seen Aaron's probably a little bit taller than me, and I'm 6'2". So it's not really happening now. So this year was the first year we bought like a little 2-man tent for him, so he had his own space.
Nice.
And everything that we pitched up just next to our tent. So
see, 1 person in a 2-man tent. That's exactly what you need.
Yeah. So it worked out really well. He got his space and Tyler got his space, and it was great. The tent that we got's got a nice living area outside of the bedroom things, and it's got a little porch. So it's been it was nice. It's always nice to spend a week actually just out in a field. Basically, what it was.
Yeah.
It's just really nice,
What? Sorry, I'm just going to elaborate now. What about cooking? What sort of arrangement have you got for food?
I mean, we bought a 2-ring stove.
Okay.
What we used to have like a 1-ring stove, but it was like with these canister gases that you just put in. It looked a bit like I don't know, like a fly spray thing. I don't know. You just put it in, push the handle down, and then turn the knob, and it.
You had a burner. Yeah.
Yeah. But that broke, so we bought a new one, and this one's a 2-burner stove thing, and it's still, we still bought like small gas canisters, but they're different because this has got like a proper gas pipe connection thing.
Fair enough. Okay, so let's get away from the technicalities of a gas stove.
I know, right?
What about using your culinary skills? What was the best dish you made on a 2-ring burner?
That looked really rude, didn't it?
We're on video now.
Yeah. Well, Liam, to be honest, most nights we cheated. We went to a restaurant. So.
Superb. And I'm guessing that you just all had cereal for breakfast.
Yes.
How did you keep your milk cold? Did you have a fridge?
We have a plug-in ice cool box thing.
Okay.
So you can just plug it in.
Fuck me.
Listeners, he's gone again, so you're just back with me again, unfortunately, while Liam, yet again, sorts his stuff out. I'm trying not to swear, so, instead of the word I want to use, I'm trying to be nice and just say stuff. But yeah, he's just gone again, so unfortunately he keeps putting me in this position. So I think we need to come up with a subject for me to ramble on about while he gets back onto the recording. I mean, if this isn't the perfect Utterball episode, I don't know what is. And he's back, hopefully, for much longer
I don't
time.
I don't even think I missed a word there. I knew exactly what to do to get out of it. I don't know what's happening to the recordings, though, so hopefully there are recording in the background that are appearing, and I'm not being fucked over. So I shall check that before we go on. So cereal for breakfast. You've got a plug-in kitchen. Plug-in cool box.
Yes.
So I'm guessing you need to go when you go camping. You go with a hookup. You need a hookup before you do anything.
Electric. Yes. We always go electric pitch.
That always makes sense.
Well, only because. Well, A, because of the cool box, but B, because the kids wouldn't be able to live without charging their stuff up, okay. even when we're in a field.
Right.
End of the world, wouldn't it, if we couldn't be able to charge stuff? So.
I mean, yes and no. I reckon, I'm going to say this earlier, this is going to be a lost recording.
Do you think so?
I reckon this could be really fucking messy, but I want to catch up with you anyway, so I don't care.
Well, it still says 99% uploading on my screen, so you never know.
Let's hope so. Okay, so cool. What did you get up to in Wales? Like, what sort of things can you do in Wales? What part of Wales were you? Let's start there.
Well, we went to Wales a couple of years ago, but on that instance, we just hired a cottage because we didn't want to go camping at that time.
I mean, there's a good reason to not to get a cottage is to not go camping. That works for me.
So what we did, we really liked it there, and we went to North Wales that time, around the Snowdon area. You know, we climbed Mount Snowdon and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, so we decided we want to go back. You know, the kids really enjoyed it in Wales. It was really nice. For some reason, Tyler really loves the burgers in Wales. I don't know why, but he goes,
Welsh burgers are good.
Yeah. So wanted to go back. And my brother and sister-in-law joined us because they got a tent and they like camping as well. But this time we decided to go South Wales, in like Pembrokeshire area.
Okay.
Which is right on the coast. It's going to gain listeners. Right, so what I'm going to do is talk about my podcasts because, you know, you might want to listen to them. And when I say podcasts, I mean just one podcast. And that's What's Wrong with Wolfie. And we've just recorded one on Deadpool and Wolverine, which comes out this Friday, the 6th of September of 2024. So if you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine and you want to listen to me and my co-host ramble about it for an hour and a half, then yeah, that's where to go, you know. Come and say hello at the Wolfie Pod.
I think I know what the issue is. I don't think my studio likes being reversed, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Cool. Okay, so you were South Wales. What did you do in South Wales? What can you do in South Wales for a family of 4 or 6 or
Go
7?
to the beach, Liam. That's
nice.
That's the thing. Well, I think we did 3 days. I think we did 3 beach days when we were down there because the weather was nice and the beach was close. Although it was a really treacherous road. Well, not treacherous, but it was just a real pain in the backside of a road to get down to the beach because it was all single lane and it was a bit windy and it's a really popular place. So there were cars trying to come the other way, you know, and then cars not stopping or giving way for you, and then you both just sit there looking at each other going, well, who's going to move? Because it ain't me. You know?
You're waiting for a car to come up behind you, so you're like, yeah, I've got 2 of us, pal, you're going to have to move.
Yeah, and this happened last time we were in Wales, where we stayed. It was a single track, and then we came across a car coming the other way, and she would not budge in whatsoever. So I had to reverse a good, I don't know, 600-700 yards, I don't know, which was fun. But yeah, and then I think one time we was trying to come home, and then someone was trying to bring a mobile home down that road.
Oh, geez.
Which was yeah. So yeah, so we spent 3.5 days on the beach. We went to Tenby once.
Okay, I've heard of Tenby. I've heard of Tenby.
Yeah, that was really nice. We had nice fish and chips. And then we went into Pembroke, went to the castle, that kind of stuff. Yeah, chilled out at the campsite. We had lots of fire pits. We were asked if we wanted a fire pit, and we said yes. So they supplied us with the fire pit, the logs, the lighters, everything for us to get it going. So we spent quite a few evenings around the fire pits in the evening, which were really nice. And my nephew introduced me to s'mores, but in like
awesome.
hack version. It's the hack version.
Okay, so what's the hack version?
Well, you toast the marshmallow on a stick, on a skewer as normal, and then when it all gets crispy and like burnt on the outside, you take it away. You get 2 chocolate hobnobs, and then you sandwich those together. But then you hold 2 like hobnobs together with the marshmallow in the middle with one hand, and then with the other hand you kind of pull the skewer away, and what it does, it takes the middle of the marshmallow out, but it leaves all the outer side of it.
Yep.
So you've got a nice crispy gooey marshmallow,
Lovely.
sandwiched in between 2 chocolate hobnobs.
That are
My
currently
God, it was
melting.
amazing.
I bet it was. I bet it was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, you can't have that though.
No, I can't. But I can taste it now.
Yeah.
Having made many marshmallows and s'mores and stuff over a campfire, no, I know exactly what that tastes like. And yes,
Yeah, that was the hack version, and it worked really, really well. So, and then we were lucky when we were there that it was one of the evenings where we're supposed to get like meteor showers
okay.
and stuff, and we weren't sure whether we was going to see any of it because it was quite cloudy that night. But as we were sitting around the fire pit, whatever, it all kind of cleared, and because you were just sitting in a field, like away from towns and everything, you know, there wasn't a lot of light pollution. So we did look up and we did see like a couple of what looked like shooting stars or like meteorites and stuff.
Oh, awesome.
So then we spent a good hour and a half just sitting out there till like midnight. Just, you know, and like, I think one of the things I really like about camping, I'll shut up about this and let you speak in a minute, but one of the things I really like about the camping is those moments of like just kind of really realising how beautiful things can be, especially in the sky.
Yeah.
We went camping a couple of years ago to the Isles of Scilly, and one of the biggest memories I have of that holiday is getting up to go to the loo in the middle of the night, which is always a chore when you're in a tent.
Yeah, no, don't miss that. Don't miss that. Especially with an old man's bladder, right? I mean, like when you were 17, you're like, yeah, sod this, I'm hanging on to this bad boy. But now we're early 40s. I know, early 40s.
Yeah.
Please don't argue with me, anybody that's listening. I'm definitely in my early 40s. Yeah, you're like, and there's no way this bad boy's staying in longer than 20 minutes. I gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, sorry, love. But one of the biggest memories was walking back and just looking up at the sky, because something caught my eye, and like just the view, just what I saw was just amazing. Like, especially somewhere on the Isles of Scilly, it's such a place to see. Like, you can see the Milky Way and everything. Yeah. It was mind blowing. So
it is really a quick way to make you feel incredibly small.
Yeah.
To look up and just see everything, and then all of a sudden you realise just how small existence is in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, because you know these things are up there, but because you don't see them, you kind of forget, or you don't really realise the expansiveness of it, really. And then when you see something like this, it really just shows, you know, like, oh my God, you know. I'm going to send you a couple of pictures of some of the pictures that we, you know, took of the sky in Wales, because although it wasn't as good as it was in the Isles of Scilly, it wasn't bad. And it was still a moment where you were like, wow, just amazing. And I kind of wish that we could get that at home, but you just can't, because there's just too many street lights and everything.
Street lights are crazy, aren't they? Well, we're fortunate here on the island. We have 4 or 5 officially listed dark sites. So
nice.
You can go and look up, and I took Mum once and worked really, really hard to make sure that we kept our night vision, you know, really lights off. And I used as I drove down the last part of the road, I went with I thought that was going to stop recording.
And it's gone again, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, thewolfiepod.com is my website. We do lots of games reviews as well, you know, because you know, I started doing games reviews a couple of years ago, just out of interest. You know, I thought, I've got a website. I could probably just write something and put it up as a blog. So I started doing that, and over the last couple of years, it's kind of grown and grown and grown, and I started getting better and better games. And then, I brought it. Someone else joined me and started writing reviews with me, and then a couple of other people. Now I've got a whole team of people that are writing reviews for me for my website at thewolfiepod.com. And we're getting quite a lot of good indie games with review codes for us to check out and share our thoughts on them. And it's all quite a bit crazy, actually, but it's kind of outgrowing the wolfiepod.com. We can't really do much more on there. You know, there's too much games, there's too much content that we're making to put on there. And to be honest, it doesn't really fit in with what's wrong with Wolfie anyway, because that's like a retro podcast about films and TV shows. So basically, I've decided to build a new website just for games reviews. Change the name, but the writing will stay the same. So I've changed the name and everything. So, I mean, if you're listening, you like video games, you love indie games, and you want to read some, amateurish writing about them, then, in a couple of months, hopefully, my new website will be up and running. So that website is somanygames.co.uk. Thank you.
somanygames.co.uk. Lovely.
That's my commercial over with. Liam's back already. He didn't stop me from my commercial.
No, that's fine. Another commercial interlude brought to you by what was the name of that website again?
Which one? So Many Games?
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't afford the .com because the .com was a premium domain. So that one was going to cost me $2,500.
Wow.
Whereas the .co.uk domain was going to cost me a tenner. So it was quite an easy decision at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. That's okay. So I've turned my camera off now, so to see if that makes a difference. I do think it's the camera and not my recording software.
I would say so.
Yeah, I would say so too. So, anyway, Jason, I was kind of half talking about my own vacation.
Yes, because you had quite an epic one, didn't you?
Dude, I've labelled it as the most... No, sorry, do you know what? I just went on this little random thought about the fact that I never named the episode. How random is that? What a recording. It's been a long time since I've had one like this.
It's not my fault.
It's not. It's nothing to do with you. It's all me.
I know.
It's crazy. Hello, if you just joined us, episode number 207 of Utterball. Actually, it might even be 208 now. I genuinely can't remember.
But we're still rusty. We're still rusting, still scraping the rust off and everything.
Jason's just sent me his photographs. They could very easily just be something you've picked up off the internet. They are amazing, dude. Absolutely phenomenal. What camera did you use?
That was on my phone. A couple were on Jenny's phone, which was the iPhone 14.
Right.
And a couple were on mine, which is the 13. So.
That is banging. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. That is stunning.
Crazy, isn't it?
It is really crazy.
If anyone wants to see them, just let me know. I'll send them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Utterball.com doesn't exist, I don't think, so we can...
No, it exists. It just doesn't... it's just not linked to anything. It's just sat there, dormant. Yeah. So, sorry, I've completely got inside my own head over how this episode's going, and I'm beating myself up, and I should just keep talking.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up, dude. This shit just happens,
It was the most... It was the most... mentally, physically, and emotionally draining holiday I have ever had. Every part of my being was tested, tried, and overwhelmed at times. In good ways. Maybe a little bit of a bad way in one regard, but, it was all good. So, we took the ferry across, we went to Alton Towers, and, so Alton Towers is a theme park with roller coasters and rides and stuff. We spent the day there. The girls went off with another friend, and we went and queued in a queue for an hour, which, it's not bad. Everyone queues for at least an hour at a roller coaster. You know it's going to be fairly good. Anyway, I got on this roller coaster. I was on it for, I want to say, 45 seconds tops. And I don't think I have ever been so violently shaken in my life. So it was a roller coaster. There was nothing special about that. It was launched. It was a launched one from a standing start, so there was no climb.
I love them ones. Yeah.
So you were launched, but it was so tight and twisty and just violent. And I got off and I looked at Victoria and she looked at me and I just went, I'm dizzy. I am absolutely, I felt like I'd been through a washing machine. Now, I've never experienced that feeling off of a roller coaster before. And I queued up for an hour for 45 seconds of violence. And I do not feel like that was worth a moment of my life.
Yeah.
So, very strange. And then we went on.
Before you go on, like, I think that's down to age as well, because I can't do the rides that I used to be able to do at theme parks. Like, just like when I've been on them now, my age, like, I just feel worn out, and I just feel like my head feels weird, and like I never used to have that feeling, and I think it's down to age as well.
Okay. Oh, maybe. That's sad. That's really sad.
It is sad, yeah, but I think unfortunately that's...
I did go on another one. We queued up for another one for like 45 minutes or so. And that one then dangled you. So you sat on it normally. You strapped yourself in. They bolted you in. They bolted your legs in as well, which was a bit weird. And then all of a sudden the whole thing just tilted so that you're facing the floor and you're like, your arms are sort of half dangling down. And then
I went on a ride like this in Japan. It was like a Jurassic Park one. So, yeah, I know exactly the feeling that you're having here.
And you effectively, it was like you were flying. Yeah. Like, if I was Iron Man flying along, that is what it would feel like.
But did you find that you couldn't look up straight? Like, when I tried to do that, it just really hurt the back of my neck. So, in the end, I just stared at the floor.
Victoria just shut her eyes.
Oh, okay. See,
she did the whole ride, I suppose.
Yeah, that's my kind of move going up the first part. This is why I like roller coasters that launch you, because you don't have a moment to think about where you are and how high you are. You're already there and already gone by the time your brain's even registered. But like when you've got the slower ones going up that first part, I always normally close my eyes until we go over the top, and then I open them because there's no point keeping them closed. But yeah, lately when I've been doing this, I've been trying to keep them open all the time. And I did this on the the Superman style one last time. But just all I could see was the floor because I couldn't really look up.
Yeah, I can imagine that, because you're trying to move your head into a position that's no longer natural. Yeah. But I loved it. Arms are out, arms are up. You know, don't need to hold on the roller coaster. I have this thing that I just can't hold on. Like, a lot of people will like hold on for dear life, but I'm like, no, I'm not holding on. So anyway, yeah, we did that. It was a good day, and we drove south. 3.5 hours in a car. That's a long time when the furthest distance you're used to driving is all of 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and then on the Saturday, I went into London on a train. That's a novel experience for me because I don't get on trains into London very often.
How was it? It's been a long time since you've done it.
Yeah, I was expecting to be robbed after being 30 seconds on the platform. So,
but how, from, when we were kids getting on the train at Langdon Station.
Yeah.
And, you had the proper, slam door trains. If anyone was listening.
Old school, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Those doors that you could open while the train was still moving into the platform and you could jump off the train.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Now you've got to stand there and wait for the beep, 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 beep,
yeah,
beep,
exactly.
Beep, beep, beep.
And they're all super smooth and, sliding doors.
Yeah.
And how did you find that experience this time around?
We had to stand up the whole time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so, but no, it was all right. It was smooth. We went to Liverpool Street. We actually got one from Langdon to Liverpool Street, which is unusual because our line is the Fenchurch Street line, but there was a train that went to Liverpool Street, so that was fine. We ended up having lunch in a place called Bill's in Camden Market. Absolutely, I think there's one in Chelmsford actually. Absolutely phenomenal restaurant. Very simplistic menu, but in a good way. I had some kind of sea bass, I think.
Check you out.
Yeah, so well, it's because it's the day before my half marathon, so I wanted to make sure I ate properly. So I could have smashed a burger, but it doesn't really help when you're trying to do a half marathon the next day. So yeah, it's like sea bass with couscous and stuff. But whereas Victoria had an all-day brunch.
Nice.
Cooked well. Ellie had like chicken and waffles with 2 eggs on top, and the eggs were cooked to perfection. Like the minute she touched that yolk, and it just exploded in a way you would want an egg to explode. Like, I'm not trying to say like she touched it and it went everywhere. It just oozed out, and it'd been done it'd been done really, really well. So that was a really good meal. Recommend anyone in the UK who can get to Bill's. The food's good. The food's good, and I thought it was fairly reasonable as well. And then Ellie and Victoria went off to see Taylor. So that was their own little mini adventure, seeing Taylor Swift at Wembley. I took Amy to see Six, the musical about Henry VIII's 6 wives. We got into it because of the soundtrack. I think it was something that Amy did at school as she left her junior school. They reworded it and all sang along to it, and since then she's been hooked on the whole soundtrack. And I was sitting there minding my business, thinking to myself, well, this could be fun. Mum came as well, and then my kid's talking louder than me. I don't know if you can hear that at the moment, but my child is talking louder than I am. Can you believe that? Anyway,
no, Liam. I mean, yes, Liam, I can believe that, actually. Yeah, I can.
Shut up! So
I'm podcasting here.
I'm podcasting here. This is possibly the worst recorded podcast of my life here. I'm trying to make a show out of this.
Look, the listeners are on the edge of their seat wondering what the hell's going to happen next. So,
well,
this is basically the best podcast you've ever done.
This is where it gets emotional, because 3 bars into the song, real like banger for want of a better word, the music started up. As they started to sing, I had this really weird emotion just came over me. All I could do was cry. No idea where it came from. Not sure what it was all about. Presumably, it's because I'd got Amy to a dream of hers to see the show, because it's something she'd always wanted to do. Not really felt that emotion before. Not sure what happened. Anyway, 15 minutes later, I'm still crying, because every time they started to sing a song, it was just eating at me, just getting me.
Yeah.
So it was a great show. Really, really well done. It talks about the lives of Henry VI's wives. And hang on, here comes a message from my wife, and there's a reason why I need to read it. Hang on. Okay. Okay, no, that's fine. That story as to why I had to check that message is coming. That's on day 5. So the story was really, really good. Henry VIII's 6 wives, and they're basically in a competition to find out who was the best. They sing songs as to, actually, no, this is why I'm better. And then I was like, hang on a second, I got beheaded. Like, you survived. Like, my head got chopped off, and yet you think you're better than me? And then sings a song. So, yeah, really, really good. If you can see 6, the musical, definitely go and see it. And then we took Amy to see some of the sites, so like Tower Bridge, HMS. We could see HMS Belfast, the Tower of London. We walked around that and that part of London, because she'd never seen that before. And we took the train home. That was pretty much that day. The next day, I drove up to Clacton on Sea in north east Essex, and I ran a half marathon.
How did that go for you?
It was very hot. Hot. It's probably, most of this summer has been 8 to 10 degrees warmer in Essex than it has been on the Isle of Man. So I've not trained in that kind of heat, and the sun was blaring down, and it was bloody hot. So I was aiming to get round in 2 hours. That was my target time, which would have been a 20-minute PB, but more definitely achievable on paper. I got round in 2:07:25, so it's definitely still a PB. Yeah, definitely still a PB, but lessons learned there. Do not go running for PBs in the summer when it's too hot.
Do you think it would be better because you're on the coast, so would have been a bit cooler, I guess? But, you know.
There wasn't enough of a breeze there. There was some air moving around, but it was only moving in one direction. And sometimes when you've got a tailwind, you can't feel the wind because
Yeah.
the air's not, the sweat is not being taken off your body. So you end up with this like bubble of heat that you're just carrying with you. It's very hard to explain, but it's almost like you've got this cushioned layer of heat that you just carry with you. And once you get to 16 degrees, here comes the running coach part. Once the air temperature gets to 16 degrees, your body has to start working harder to dissipate the heat, and obviously it does that through sweat. And so there's only so much you can sweat to try and cool your body down. So effectively, you end up in this position where you're running along, your heart rate is at a higher heart rate than normal because it's working harder, which means that you've then got to compensate that by slowing down a little bit, or you're going to overheat and burn yourself. It's going to end in not good, because you got to run your heart rate up to maximum, and you can't run with a maximum heart rate. It's just not possible to run a long distance at maximum heart rate. So you've got to make sacrifices. So you're either going to drop your heart rate, or, well, effectively that's what you've got to do. You've got to drop your heart rate. So I had to drop my heart rate, and slowed down. But I got around the first 6 splash miles in something like 57 minutes. So I was on. It was on, but I was already struggling at that point to maintain. I knew what was coming because I've been in that position before. And there's only so many times you can pour a big bottle of water, or a small cup of water, because that's all they were giving us. You get a small cup of water, and I'm like, I've got to drink it, or I'm pouring it over my head. So, but there's only so many times you can pour over your head to help try and cool you down. So, anyway, and then I went on this epic adventure of just hilarity, trying to come and find you, my friend.
Right.
So I've not been to Jason's new house before. How long have you been in the new house?
Hang on. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 years.
7 years. So it's been a long time since I've been to Jason's house, and so I plugged his address into Apple Maps. It was because it worked on the iPlayer on CarPlay, and I went down the road, and I knew which way I was going, because it's one road, the A12. And then all of a sudden it came up, we can go faster if you go this route. You can save yourself like 18 minutes or something. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds fun. I told Jason I'd be there half an hour ago. Quite clearly he's waiting for me, and quite clearly I'm not there yet, because always late. So I took the shortcut, and then it took me through Colchester, which is a fairly large town. It's not a small town, is it, Colchester?
No, it's massive.
And then it kicked me out and went down this almost like your single lane road that you spoke of with camper vans. But the thing is, you could tell that everybody was using it via Apple Maps, because there was just a long line of cars all following each other. And
the trouble was as well, that particular weekend, the part of the A12 that you would have gone down was shut for roadworks, because there's been a whole section of that road that's had roadworks on for about a year, and I think that particular weekend, which I didn't know at the time, it wouldn't really mattered. You still would have had to go on the way you went. It was shut, so that's why everyone was going down this road, I think.
Yeah, and so I ended up on this single track lane that eventually spat me out on the A12. And then it came up to you need to take this junction, and the junction came up so fast that I just blew straight past it. I didn't even realise the junction was there. And then
I should have warned you about that, actually. I think that's a little bit on my part, because that junction, it does just come upon you, and it is such a short slip road off the dual carriageway onto that, so.
Yeah. And
yeah, that's a little bit on me, I think.
And then all of a sudden, there's a car coming out of nowhere trying to cut me up, and so I had to move out to the outside lane to overtake it, which then meant I actually missed the next turning that I could have taken. And then so I was like, okay, it's not a problem. I can go down to the next junction, and I can turn around and I can come back again. Except that particular junction didn't have a return ramp.
No, it's only a slip-on. There's no.
So I had to go 6 miles out of my way, following all these poxy country lanes, to take the back road into your little town.
Yeah, we call them the lanes. Yeah, I was saying, because you shared your drive, and I was looking, going, where is he? And I'm following you, and I'm going, where the hell's he going?
It must have been funny to watch.
Yeah, because I'm like, how's he ended up there? And then I said to the wife, I was like, oh, he's going through the lanes. He's going through the lanes in the country. A nice treat for you.
Yeah, it's lovely. But what was nice, Jason, is it was amazing to spend. I think it was only 45 minutes I got because of what was going on. But I got 45 minutes with you and your family. You made me a brew, which was lovely. And we got to eat some Bakewell tarts.
We did. That was a good choice, dude.
It was a good choice. I do like a Bakewell tart. The only reason, and those that know me are like, hang on a second, Liam, you don't eat cake. You can't eat cake. I just ran a half marathon. My body was absolutely smashed to pieces with food. Calories and the lack of. So it really didn't matter at that point. And then anyway, so then I finally went home. I got home in without too much trauma. And then I went with Sorry Mum and Tip and Load, and we went for cheeky Nando's.
Nice.
Yeah. So I had my cheeky Nando's. It was all good. And then as I left, didn't know this, there's a Five Guys in Fessy Leisure Park, right next door to Nando's.
Right. Did you go?
Yeah. Having just had a cheeky Nando's. Having just had a cheeky Nando's, I said, I'm still hungry. Everyone's like, what? I'm like, half marathon. So yeah, I got myself a bag of a nice big bag of Five Guys fries that were just salty and perfect. I did share them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was imagining you was going to say you got a burger and a milkshake.
Oh, I wished I had, but I was planning on having my burger later in the week.
Right.
So Monday we just spent a day with Victoria's family, which was nice. Just not stressful, not anything, just a nice day with Victoria's family. Tuesday morning we gets up, we were going to go to Birmingham, and I don't know if you know this, so this could come as a shock to you, but my wife then fell down the stairs.
I do know this. Yes.
You do this? Okay, cool. Because I haven't actually mentioned it to you, but I wasn't sure if you picked it up on socials. So yeah, so she fell down the stairs and subsequently broke her leg.
I didn't know she broke her leg though.
Yeah, she broke her leg, and didn't just break it; it was broken and dislocated at the ankle.
Oh God!
So,
how did this happen?
I'm not actually sure. I mean, we need to go back 18 months because 18 months ago she slipped off a stair on holiday in Scotland, and fractured her leg. It was broken / fractured. So
is this the same leg that she broke?
Yeah, I think it is. So whatever's happened, it was a bungalow, so the stairs were somewhat steeper. Now, I still can't work out quite what the leg did to get into the position that it did to the break. But by the time she'd rode all the stairs to the bottom, it was very much broken and visually broken. Just looking at it, I was like, oh, that's broken. So I was like, I said to the guy who was down, like, we can't put her in the car. Like, we can't move her. He's like, I think I'll phone for an ambulance. I was like, good shout. So yeah, so she got a free ride in an ambulance to Southend University Hospital. And
she didn't even get to go to Basildon Hospital.
No, they took her to Southend. Wow. We were in Benfleet, and they took her on blue lights. She left the street like all that business. I was like, wow. It's like a dream, isn't it?
It is.
I drive ambulances for a living, and I'm not allowed to drive around on bloody blue lights. So yeah, she went there. So long story short, we then had an issue because Ellie was supposed to see Noah Khan in Birmingham that evening with her friend. Mm-hmm. And Vic was very much of the opinion of, we've paid all this money out for the rest of the holiday. You've got to complete the holiday. Oh, we'll worry about that later. But no. So we wanted to find out, we wanted Victoria to get herself into a good space before we actually made, any decision. And so I sauntered, I'm going to use the word sauntered along to the hospital. And, hey, we've recorded for 24 minutes straight right now, which means it's a camera issue, not a sound issue. Or a recording software issue. Anyway, someone gets there, and I had to wait my turn, as you do, and I was finally ushered into the emergency area, and there she was, bless her, and they had to knock her out to put her leg back to where it needed to be, and she'd been for an x-ray, and then the dude that does all the surgery came down, looked at it. He was like, yeah, I've looked at it. He's like, we're going to need to do surgery. I was like, oh, that's totally fucked.
No, oh, sorry. Oh, poor Vic. You've got to have surgery. It's like fucking holiday.
Well, you know, it'd been so meticulously planned, and I do feel sorry for her. Please don't think that I don't, because I was absolutely fucking mortified for her. And then I witnessed the absolute worst thing I have ever seen.
Oh.
And as the doctor's gone, the bone looks like it's pushing up against the skin, and I can't really have that because it can cut the circulation off to that skin, and that's not good. So I'm going to give you a drug, and I'm going to manipulate it back to where I want it. Okay.
Okay.
So they give you this drug to suck on, Penthrox, which basically just trips you out for a moment. And then this guy set about my wife's foot like it was a bloody rugby ball. I have never seen something so violent and so distressing in my life. Like, dude, that's my wife you're touching. Like, I genuinely felt anger building up inside me. I don't get angry. I'm not a violent person. But I was like, dude, that's my wife. Get your hands off my wife. Like, I appreciate he was doing his job. That's what he was doing. But that was the emotion that was burning up inside of me. I was like, oh my God, what's this rage thing coming over me? Being the protector. So, yeah, that was pretty weird. And then I had about 10 minutes, and then I had to make a decision as to whether or not I was going to take Ellie to Birmingham or not. And so we decided that I would go to Birmingham. So I jumped in the car, I grabbed Ellie, grabbed a change of clothes, a few days worth of clothes for Victoria. And so Amy was staying with Rebecca for the night, which is handy having a sister-in-law that lives 5 miles from the hospital. And then I took a 3-hour drive up to Brum, where I saw that night Noah Khan live in concert, which actually was a pretty good gig. So that was fun. And then we woke up, and then it was... You were going to ask me a question?
I was going to say, was this the one where you were at the back of the place and Ellie was somewhere else?
Yeah, she was at the front. She had a really good seat, and she was there with her friend. And I was... Originally, I wasn't going to watch the concert. I was going to stand around outside waiting for them. And then I realised I'd be in Birmingham. And who really wants to stand around the streets of Birmingham at night, where, you know, there's crime in places like Birmingham. Don't want to start typecast or be stereotypical, but there is crime. Where I live, there is no crime. I can walk down whatever street I like, whenever I like. In Birmingham, not quite so safe. So I did the right thing and bought myself a ticket to watch the show for 50 quid. And I was right at the very back, and I didn't care. I was there just to listen to the music, and it was a good gig. Went back to our apartment, which was a hotel apartment. Very strange concept. Worked very well. Had an ensuite. Amazing. And the next day woke up. It was Ellie's birthday. But... So she was with her friends still. Her friends stayed overnight. And the plan was for her to go shopping at the Bullring, because it's a huge shopping complex in Birmingham. And my job for the day was to go and get Amy. So I jumped in the car, having wished my daughter a happy birthday, sweet 16th, and drove 3 hours to Essex again, where I got 20 minutes with my wife. I grabbed my daughter, I grabbed the rest of our stuff, and then drove 3 hours back to Birmingham, because Ellie was going to be in Birmingham by herself otherwise, which is just not cool. But then we went to watch Hamilton. Have you heard of Hamilton?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a show that we've been really wanting to go and see, and we watched the recording that's on Disney.
Okay, yeah.
Stuff.
Cool. Well,
so yeah, no, we'd really like to see it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a really good show.
The girls have been singing it for years, and it's on in our car very frequently. And once again, found myself completely overwhelmed with emotion 3 bars into the show. The moment the entire chorus started singing this one particular thing at the same time, I was just like, oh my God. And I was absolutely bawling my eyes out. Couldn't control it. No idea where it came from. No idea what the emotion was. But it just blew me away. And then there's the production, Jason. You really, really need to take an evening and go and watch this show with your family, because it is the single greatest. I don't want to say like I've seen loads of shows, but I've seen loads of shows. Yeah. do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want. I've not seen every show there is out there, but I've seen a fair few shows in London and stuff. But this was the single greatest show I've ever seen. From the way it's put together, the lyrics, the acting, the way the props come on the stage, the way the scene doesn't change but does change. It's just seamless in every sense of the word. Every minute detail, from the way the music changes, the different styles, everything. Just everything about it was amazing. And then, if that wasn't enough, hashtag tearjerker, take some tissues, because right at the end, they get you right there. Oh, you bastards, I didn't see that coming. Now, I know all the songs, I know what's coming, I know what's going to happen. But, oh my God, did not see that coming, and there was me crying at the end of the show, just like the way I started it.
What an emotional ride for you, dude.
Dude, seriously. And this is only, yeah. So that was the 21st. So the next day we woke up. We took Amy shopping for some school clothes and school shoes and stuff back in Birmingham, and then we drove up to Liverpool, where we watched Hairspray. Actually, we did an escape room. I don't know if you're familiar with the escape room concept.
I've never done one, but
I think you and the family would enjoy it immensely.
But from what I can gather, they're like puzzles you've got to solve, or
effectively that. You're locked in a room for 60 minutes and you've got to solve the puzzles to get out. I mean, you can push the button and get out any time, but effectively you're locked in a room.
It's like an expanded version of the Crystal Maze.
Yeah, that kind of idea. Yeah, that kind of idea. I mean, Vicky's a serial room person. She's done like 70 of the things.
Blimey.
She goes away with her friends for weekends to do like 6 of them at a time and stuff. But
Righty.
everywhere we go, we have to do one. So we'd had to cancel one because we couldn't go. That's where we were going the morning of the broken leg. But she'd booked one for that. It was Horrible Histories themed, and that was really good fun. And me and the girls got out with a minute and a half to spare. Which pleased us because usually we were a team member down, so just 3 of us, and they were like, "Oh my God, you did really well! You didn't even ask for a single clue." We're like, well, yeah,
you haven't got the expert with you.
We haven't got the expert with us, but no, we were really proud. And then we went to watch Hairspray. Now, I'm pleased to say I didn't cry once during Hairspray.
Oh, okay, I was going to ask.
Yeah, no, it was a good show. Not really my cup of tea. I only know like 2 songs from the whole show. Obviously, everyone knows "Good Morning Baltimore." Not doing any more singing. This is not a singing podcast.
Why not?
And yeah, so that was okay. It was all right. But what happened is we'd had tickets for. I'm going to say we, really don't mean me. Had tickets for Take That back in like 2019, and then COVID struck, and so it was cancelled, and so we were refunded the tickets as a voucher. So, and because there was a group thing, Vicky gave everybody the money back, but still had the voucher. And but then ASX tickets were like, "Hey, you need to use your tickets up, or you're going to lose your credit." So we booked this Hairspray. But not only did we book the most expensive seats in the whole theatre, because we just had to use the voucher up, we also got to book dinner and the VIP lounge experience. Which just made it really interesting. You know, we'd never done anything like that before. But what was funny is because we were a person down, they were still like, "You've got to use your credit."
Okay.
So, but like, even after dinner, I was like, I can't eat anymore.
Sure.
And so they took us up to the VIP lounge, and they were like, "So, we can refund you some money here, but you've still got £30 to spend in this room. Now, you're entitled to 2 free drinks. Do you want Prosecco?" I'm like, "I'm driving in 4 hours. No, I don't want any alcohol." So, but I had now, I'm glad you're sitting down, because what I'm about to say is going to blow your mind.
Okay.
I had a non-alcoholic Stella.
Ooh. Okay.
It was okay. It was all right.
Non-alcoholic beer has grown over the years, and they're kind of perfecting it now.
I really enjoy it. I've got Corona at the moment in the fridge. I love coming home, especially after like a hard day's work. You know, you're hot and you're bothered and you've had a long day, and just smashing a beer out of the fridge. It's a really good, like, do you know what? I needed that. I feel refreshed. Or eating them with burgers. That always works. But yeah, so they applied us with food, and they had these tins of crisps, like huge tins that you like cracked the lid off, and there was hand cooked chips inside. So basically what happened was we had to then go on a spending spree in their shop, in the VIP lounge, of stuff to take home with us. So it was beers, crisps, chocolate. The girls smashed ice cream at half time. And then they refunded us a £25 voucher on top of that. So it was like, happy days.
Oh, okay.
And then it was an hour and a half dash to the ferry to come home. 2 o'clock in the morning ferry that was delayed till 4.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Amazing.
For a 4-hour ferry crossing. However, being the pro that I am, I had booked a cabin. So I got on board, I made myself a coffee, and I fell straight to sleep. And the next thing I heard was, bing bong, welcome to Douglas. Please go to your cars. I was like, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Did the girls sleep?
Yes, yeah, we all passed out. I mean, the girls were asleep in the car. I couldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, the girls...
So you just left them in the car on the ferry?
No, like, I woke them up before we got on the ferry.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were sort of dozing from sort of, I don't know, 12:30ish.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked well to see a show in Liverpool and then drive all the way up to Heysham. Worked quite well. So yeah, man, that was like my 9-day holiday. So Victoria, I'm pleased to say, has had an operation. I'm not pleased to say she had an operation, but she's had an operation, and I'm pleased to say that she is recovering from that operation. However, because of getting her home and having just had an operation on her leg, we decided to leave her in Essex for 2 weeks. So she's still with her sister as we speak, recovering. She's got a follow-up appointment on Monday or Tuesday, and then from there, once she's got the next cast, we hope to bring her home.
Wow.
So for the last week and a half, I have been a single parent, a
How's that
working
been
single
for you?
parent. It's been madness. Like zero time, like very little time to actually, for me, because what I did without realising it was I suckered myself up for 2 weeks straight work between 2 jobs. And so I came back, I had a day off, and then that was that. I was working, well, I'm working 14 days straight. Mm-hmm. Some of those were 12-hour shifts, so I properly shot myself in the foot. But as of today, the schools are back, which means I didn't have to do any long hours at the school, which meant I didn't have to start until 2. So just 2 till 5:30 today, which was lovely. 3.5 hours. Thank you very much. All right. That was the dog. Sorry about that.
I was going to say, I'm hoping that was the dog.
He's come to say hello. I don't know if you can... Oh, I haven't got a camera on.
No.
I've got a camera on back so no one can see you. Oh, well, go sit. Good boy. Go on. Dude, you stink. I think he came over and farted. Go
That's
and lay
what
down.
they do.
Go and lay down. They do, don't they? They just come over and fart next to you. And then you get the blame
What a
for it.
bastard. What a bastard.
Bastard. Yeah, 3.5 hours today in school, which was just blissful compared to what I've done over the last thing. So I'm on day number 11 now, and I've got Thursday. No, it must be 12. With Thursday and Friday to go, and then I've actually got 2 days off, which I can't wait for.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So that was my holiday.
There's one that you'll never forget.
No, definitely not. Definitely won't forget it. Yeah, no, what I found hard, actually, is I tend to do most of the, being what was a stay-at-home dad and having part-time jobs, it's kind of me that does a lot of the majority of the chores anyway. But actually trying to fit that in between doing all the full-time work that I'd signed myself up for, and then if that wasn't bad enough, it's the acts of selflessness. Like Ellie sent me messages like, I didn't get enough clothes for sixth form, which is basically the last 2 years of high school. Well, it's just outside of high school, but for our American listeners, it's the last 2 years of their school life, and so they're no longer in uniform, and they're treated a little bit more like adults than kids. And so she was like, I've looked at the uniform, like, because they still have to have standards, like business attire and stuff like that. She's like, I don't have enough.
Casual,
so,
like smart casual, isn't it?
Exactly that. And I came home from work. I was absolutely knackered. I'd already done like 9 hours at work, and I had to take her to Marks and Spencer's to go shopping. So it's not a complaint, but it's just those moments of selflessness where you've got to put somebody else first. And so I've not had any time for me to decompress or decompose, or do you know what I mean? Like I need that space for my own mental health, and I've struggled to not have any of that, because you come home, you've got to cook some dinner, or you've got to come home, sort some washing because the washing's not been done for 2 days, or you've got to do the dishwasher, and you've got to walk the dog, and I'm supposed to be running still. So I found that real hard, and I take my hat off to any single parent that's got kids, especially kids that are young. I'm lucky. My 2 girls are 13 and 16 and can fend for themselves. Like if I said to them, well, like tonight, sorry girls, you cooking dinner for yourself? Like, all right. And they just go bust out some food and cook, you know? There's no, I don't have to care for them. They care for themselves. They're old enough now. So I'm lucky in that sense. But man, can't wait for my wife to come home.
And there's times like this where you really, really appreciate your other half, isn't it?
Massively. Just not, I mean, we talk every day, but not even the random things, like you sat on a sofa next to each other, and then quite often I become the human cushion, and she'll just like pop her leg over me. Like she's like, you know, as your wife probably would, the royal wife, as your wife would. And I was like, actually, I kind of miss that, you know. Or you get into bed and you realise there's a butt there, you know, I'll have a cheeky squeeze of that. You know what I mean? Like, I was getting into an empty, cold bed every night, and it was all right the first 2 nights. I was like, hey, starfish! And now I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I really could do with that butt squeeze. Yeah. And there's no one to tell me what to do, which I'm really struggling with. Like, I need to be told to go shopping. I need to be told to do the washing. I need to be told to do stuff.
Yeah.
There's no one telling me what to do.
It's all on you.
It's all on me. I've got to make decisions like a grown-up.
I know. Sucks, right? Just be back to my man-child, please. Thank you.
So this morning I got up. I took the girls to school for their first day at school, and I came home and I spent 3.5 hours on the computer, pissing around, looking for a new computer chair and some other bits and bobs that I needed to just do to just let my head in its headspace. And this evening I've got an opportunity to talk to my mate Chase.
Yeah.
So I'm hopefully something will come out of this, and you'll get that greatest podcast ever. But as I say, even if it doesn't, I've really enjoyed just sitting here and talking shit with you, because you're cool, and I like that.
Oh, bless you. You're cool too, dude. You too.
Ah, thanks, man. I don't feel cool having blabbered my way around London.
It's just weird. Like, I don't know. The older you get, I don't know. The emotions are just all over the place. Maybe going through the man version of a menopause.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's that, because I've cleaned 4 classrooms this summer, and I mean cleaned, like deep cleaned every surface, chair, table, 8 hours a day. Each, you know, and it's taken a long time. And the teachers came back this week, and they sort of turned their rooms into classrooms for the year. And I went round at the end of the day just to finish up and make sure everything was all right. And I bloody cried. And I don't know what the emotion was. I can only assume it was a sense of pride. You know, to see that happen. I have no idea where it came from. Oh my God, I am crying again. What is up with me? But now you've said that, Jason, I'm going to take that. I'm 45 years old, and
you're in the perfect age range.
Maybe I should have had a hot flush. I shouldn't take the piss out of ladies that have menopausal moments, because they are liable to destroy me with just one single look.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, I'm not here to have a deep conversation about the menopause, right? But
this is dangerous territory, Jason. Dangerous territory.
From a man's perspective, right, we always laugh off the menopause, right? We just think, oh, it's just a moment in time where things change biologically and then we will move on. But my wife has been educating me about the menopause, because she thinks, you know, it might be starting for her. And, you know, so every time she learns something new about it, she feeds that information to me, because she thinks that it would be helpful for me to know what, you know, signs to look out for, or if we're in a particular situation, you know, or, you know, she's not being herself, you know, it could be down to this.
So and the reason why I'm laughing, sorry, man, I'm going to butt in right there. The reason why I'm laughing is because the vision I've got in my head right now is you're explaining exactly what's going on in my head, and that's you laid on the floor with her standing over you in a fit of rage with 2 knives in her hand, not being herself, just being absolutely angry because, I don't know, you did something that you shouldn't have done. I mean, sharing for like
yeah.
you should have put the washing out, but you know.
But we've kind of learned a lot about, you know, what actually affects her, you know, and women in general. It's a lot more than just her emotions and everything, and it can be like quite a long-lasting, affecting thing. So, any women that's had the menopause or are going through the menopause or in that age range, you got my respect. You know, I feel the pain and the problems that you're facing and going through. So, yeah, kudos to you guys, and you know. It's a bit, I can't, you know, there's nothing I can do. Like, I can't go through that for you, or, I don't know, or like have it myself. But apparently Liam can, because he's going through the menopause. But, yeah, just big kudos to you guys. And I'm sorry you have to go through it. You know, I'm sorry, it's a natural thing that you have to go through. You can't stop it. And, big respects to you guys.
See, this is where I'm going to dig myself a big hole. Sorry, Mum. It's bad enough that they've gone through pregnancy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Exactly. And the fact they have to have a period every month sucks, man. Being a woman sucks. I'm so sorry.
Dude, being a man in a house with 3 women sucks.
I can't say anything. I've got 2 boys, so it's my wife who suffers on that one.
I mean, spoiler alert, Jason. It's always my fault.
No, it's always my fault too, so don't worry. But I guess it's your fault times 3, isn't it? Where no, absolutely. In fact, don't. No, I'm not having that, because it's always my fault with my boys as well. So you know, I know what you mean. It's fine.
Yeah. See, 3 weeks out of 4, I'm always wrong, and in the 4th week, I'm wrong anyway. So
yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say, like, maybe we could educate ourselves there, because what I want to do with that ball, as we transition and bring it back up, is to have subjects, and not necessarily for the shows that you and I just talk nonsense, because I love those. You can't take those away, but there needs to be that thing going on so that we can draw in more people. And I think questions need to be asked as in an episode, and then we answer that question, and then that's how people find us, because they're looking for the answer to that question. And maybe we find someone who can talk us through a menopause, and we have them on in a serious manner, you know, not to be funny about it, but actually ask questions, have someone that's prepared to ask questions and answer questions about the menopause. And we could actually, this is a fucking great idea, sorry Mum, not sorry, we could have somebody on to educate guys about the menopause and what to expect and what they can do. And oh my god, hashtag brownie points, hashtag you are all welcome. That's a genius idea, Jason and Six. I will write that one down.
Yeah,
find someone to talk about the menopause.
You know, because from what my wife has been telling me, you know, and when she finds about stuff, it's quite interesting in a way on how much it affects the body, and that you just wouldn't. I think even women who don't necessarily know everything about the menopause wouldn't label certain emotions that they might be feeling, or certain pains in their body, or aches, or you know, anything like that. I don't think they would necessarily label that down to a menopause either. So, you know, they may not know either, and just think they're having a rough day or whatever. And there's just a lot more to a menopause than a lot of people think.
I'm guessing you're saying it's not just hot flushes and mood swings.
No, it's not just those. No.
I need educating. I'm not afraid to admit that. I need educating on the subject, and probably something I should be educated with. So let's take this moment to find someone and actually have that conversation in a serious manner. Maybe we can make a bit of light of it, you know. But here's our ball. We are supposedly a bit of a comedy podcast. So let's do that. Anyway, listen, dude, the clock's running up. I'm not sure how long I've had you here for. It must be an hour and 15 minutes now. So is it time for some Jason's news? Or is there anything else you want to talk about before we switch over to Jason's news? I've got this back to front.
Well, okay. One last topic. Last week we went to the circus.
Okay, cool.
Have you been to the circus, Liam?
A while ago. I haven't been. The girls go occasionally.
But what is like your you know, when you think of the circus, you know, like how bothered are you normally? Are you excited? Do you have a circus on the island? Do they? I don't know.
Yeah, we have one of the. I think it's Gandhi's. Circus comes to town with their death-defying acts of excitement. I don't know, like acrobats and trapezes, and I think it's all human acrobatics. We don't see any elephants or standing on balls or anything like that.
Can't do that anymore, can you?
No. Shame really. Dambo was a good egg. Anyway, sorry.
No, like I said, we went to the circus last week. They came to town, as they do, and it was a good show. We enjoyed ourselves with some good acts and everything. But it most of the time I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, what is the circus life actually like for these people? Like, I don't know, like, it must be exhausting. And, this wasn't necessarily the biggest circus in the world. Their stage wasn't the biggest. I mean, it was quite a big tent thing, but, it wasn't the biggest area and everything, so it's quite a smallish, like, operation and everything. But, yeah, and, like, they come to places like Whittam, and it wasn't full. It was their opening, I can't think of the word.
Show?
Show, thank you. Yeah, it was the opening show, and it wasn't full or anything. So I kind of felt sorry for them a little bit because they didn't have a full audience to watch their stuff. And I just wonder, like, they do all this travelling, they put all this effort to put the tent up and down, and they live this, like, life of, like, travelling and living in caravans and such. And, yeah, I just kind of wondered, is it quite a demoralising life sometimes when you don't only get half a audience and such? Yeah.
Deep. Maybe we need to find a circus guest. See, we can ask loads of questions here, like circus life. I mean, there must be all sorts of stories that you could get out of someone that's in a circus, and ask those questions, find out what their life's like, and see if you can get any gossip / stories from them of things that have happened and audience members that have made fools of themselves.
Well, yeah, because the last time I went to a circus in Whittam, we were sitting on the front row, and I got called out to go out on and do stuff.
Oh, jeez.
So I said to Jenny this time, I said, we're not going on the front row, right? And she was like, yeah, we'll go like a couple of rows back. And we ended up being the second row, but there were plenty of, like, big strapping people on the first row with easy access to the things. So
banging. You were like,
I knew I was safe.
Yeah, good lad.
And I was quite glad because one of the ones that they called people up for, it was to do like hula hoop stuff, and in the end they tried to get these two random strangers, one girl, one man, to like be quite close together and then try and hula hoop together. Which must have been really, really uncomfortable for both of them.
Yeah.
Because, not knowing each other, and if you don't know someone, it's quite awkward when you're going to get right up close, into that personal space.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I was like, yeah, I really dodged a bullet on that one. So,
good lad.
Yeah.
Nice one.
But yeah, no, I was just curious. Like, I didn't know if you'd ever thought of the circus life and such in such a way.
No, I don't think so. No, not really. I mean, obviously it's a travelling life, isn't it? But yeah, it must be really hard graft. I bitch about cleaning a classroom, but I come home to my house every night and eat my food. That's, whereas they live where they work where they live. They live with and work with the same people day in, day out. They never know where they're... I suppose they do know where they're going, but nowhere's home, is it, so to speak? And as you say, their livelihood depends on how many people come into that tent and watch their show, and it must be a real graft sometimes to know that you've got to work your ass off for, I don't know, I'm just going to say 2 hours... in front of a tent that's only going to net you half of what it could have done.
But there you go. There's the other idea, to get someone on from the circus so we can ask them questions about their life.
Okay. Do we get Krusty the Crown? Has this gone funky? Am I losing you? I've lost Jason. I've lost Jason this time. So Jason has slowly disappeared offline. I suspect he'll need to refresh. And it'll be something to do with his Chrome, I reckon, and the fact that he's run out of memory. That's exactly what happens. So he'll be back with us in just a moment. What we will do is let's just play some Jason's News.
Jason's News. Where the news comes first. And always comes last.
Hello and welcome to Jason's News. Woo! Yay. So anyway, so Jason's gone. He should be back in a moment. I really hope he hasn't got to do a reboot. But the trials and tribulations of modern recording. You know, we used to struggle immensely with this kind of stuff when we worked on Skype, using a recording software package that barely worked. And it was always hit and miss as to whether or not it was like Pamela or something, I think it was called, would record. And yeah, you're still here, dude. Hello.
Oh, hello.
You hear me? Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
And
Thank you.
it turns out that I've been playing music all night, and it's been preview mode, not live mode, so it would never recorded anyway. So, anyway, so yeah, I've been waffling, and but I have played the introduction music to Jason's News.
Cool.
I presume you have some.
I should do that, shouldn't I? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I am more prepared for Jason's News this week, so let's get into some Jason's News. I've got two stories for you. Yay! I've got two stories for you lovely people tonight. Which one do you want first, Liam? One about a cat or one about UFOs?
Oh, let's go with the UFO first.
Cool. You'd be
You were
on
hoping I
the
was gonna say
story
cat,
that
weren't you?
I'm not on. Yeah.
Okay, so professionally next time, whatever you say first, I'll go with. Noted.
No, next time I'll just stay on the main page, you know. Not be a hack.
Go for it. Tell me a story about a
Anyway.
UFO.
All right. A recent poll has revealed that around a third of UK residents believe they're unlikely to survive if hostile Martians invaded Earth. What's more, a third think they'd be lucky to survive more than 1 month, with just 1 in 10 feeling confident they'd survive more than 1 year. The survey of 2,000 people was conducted in reality, a company behind a new immersive experience based on Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds musical. Sorry, pop-ups. Those polled revealed the first things they'd do if Martians did indeed land on Earth tomorrow, with 26% finding friends and family, 20% finding essential supplies, and 18% running and hiding, and 1 in 10 say they'd say hello. Others say they'd ask the Martians to take them back to their planet with them. 11% of people would do that. And 5% admit they'd get intimate with the nearest human.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. 4 in 10 say they'd save their children or their partner first in the event of a Martian invasion, followed by themselves. So it seems a large portion of the nation's population love pets more than people, with a fifth of Brits revealing they'd save their pet before anyone else.
That is so true. He says, looking at his dog. You bastard.
And despite 1/3 of Brits, 33%, saying they think about Earth being invaded by Martians at least once a year, a whopping 6 in 10 reveal they feel unprepared for a hostile Martian invasion.
Damn straight. You've seen Independence Day?
I know. No one expects it, do they? So why would be prepared for one?
That's a crazy story. Like, that's just crazy. Like, I get that. I get the different reasons for it, but Like, in terms of the different categories. But who actually thinks about it enough to know what they do? I appreciate I joked about the whole coupling thing and having some, stuff. I'll call it stuff today. But I wouldn't know what the hell to do. I mean, I wouldn't even know what to do in a zombie apocalypse. The best I've got is find a record collection and throw records at them.
Very good.
Shaun of the Dead
Very
reference,
good.
everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, love it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but I've got a bow and arrow in my shed that was my granddad's from like 30 years ago. I've no idea if once I strung it up, if it would be any good. And I've no idea if the arrows actually worked, if they would actually do any damage. And I've got 8 of them. 8 arrows is all I've got. I do not think, in the event of an emergency, I would be very good at anything. At least providing for my family or protecting my family.
Sure. Because I think I'd be in that 26% of just going to find my family or friends. I think that's what I would be in. And then, you know, I don't think I'd find essential supplies because I think a lot of people would be doing that. And, like, it would just be a moment, you know, a situation that I didn't want to put myself in.
Yeah. No, I love my mum, but if she wants to see me, she'll have to be in the 26% to come and find her friends and family.
Or I'd just be in that 18% and run and hide, you know.
I mean, I'd like to think that I'd tool up and go, like, all in on it, but I wouldn't even know where to go to tool up.
Wall
Like,
paint and everything, yeah?
do you know what I mean? Like, let's get stuck into
Just go to your
this
school
bitches.
and get your hammer, innit?
Well, you know what I mean? Like, my bloody DeWalt drill. That's really going to do some damage, isn't it? I tell you what would do some damage. Fucking chlorine. Get that shit in your eyes, you know about it. Maybe that's what I need, is chlorine in a spray bottle.
There you go. Sorted.
You could call me Super
That'll
Clean.
make the Martians run back to Mars, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Bloody Super Clean running around with his chlorine spray.
Yeah. So I thought that was quite an interesting story.
No, it's interesting,
you know,
very
what
interesting.
people would do.
To see what... The fact that people think
Alien
about
invasion.
what they would do. You know what I mean?
And the fact that it's,
about
you
this
know,
kind of thing.
just assuming they're here to be hostile. They might be very friendly beings and just want to share a pot noodle with you. So
I mean, they might just want to hump your leg or something like a dog. I don't know. That's
you never know. Yeah, they might some interspecies relationships, you know, and see what
Then
gets created.
But then again, they could just suck my brain out.
I think we should
and
leave that
eat
one.
it. Yes. Let's get over to the puddy tat.
Exactly, with a straw. Okay, a Persian cat has made history by being the first to conquer the 3 peaks, completing the challenge while walking on a lead with its owner.
Fucking hell.
Lewis, the 7-year-old cat, made the journey alongside owners Jess and Dan earlier this week and spent 29 hours walking up Scaffold Pike, Ben Nevis and Mount Snowdon. Jess, 31, and Dan, 34, made it to the top of each peak with Lewis in tow and said their cat was better prepared than they were due to his habit of walking up to 6 miles each day. The couple from Sherfield in Hants, England, said, Lewis loves adventures and claimed he was a bit like a dog. They also said he tried to walk the entire length of the trip and refused to be carried, although they had to scoop him up near to the end when he started to get cold near the summit. There are other cats that have climbed mountains, but we have checked, and Lois is the first cat to climb 3 peaks. Who was training, said Dan, who was training to be a truck driver. It feels great to have him immortalised. Hopefully he goes down in history. Would Baxter be able to climb the 3 peaks, Liam?
Yeah. Yeah, we go running all the time, so I don't think a peak could be a problem for him. I am absolutely...
But a cat?
No, I mean, like, there's questions here. Like, I'm aware that sometimes people will walk their cat on a harness, but I mean, I shouldn't judge, and that's my thing for 2024. I'm trying not to judge people. But you got to question, what on earth are you doing lashing a harness on a cat and going for a walk. That is not normal for the cat. Cats are very territorial creatures.
Yeah, they like to just go off and roam, don't they, and adventure.
Yes, but it seems to me like they should have had a dog, because they're doing things that you would do with a dog, not a cat. That's just crazy. Sorry, if you were wanting a reaction, you got one. Like, what if? I'm sorry. Is there actually maybe this is the question I should be asking? Is there actually a record of which cats go up bloody mountains? Is there like a mountain record for cats? And this is the thing, because what's to say that 30,000 years ago there wasn't a bloody pride of cats that had just so happened to have walked around Britain enough to have gone up all 3 peaks?
I mean, if it happened, then I'd like to have thought that there would have been a record of it somewhere. Well, unless it happened in like 1834 or something, you know.
Well, I mean, like, taking this full circle and looking at your whole universe thing, where we're so small, it could have happened 100,000 years ago. You just don't know. We're such a small speck of time and universe that... Wow. I mean, what makes you think, oh, you know what, let's take the cat up a mountain?
Well, yeah, I mean, if I had a cat, that would never enter my brain.
Right? You wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to take it up a mountain. I never thought once I'd take Stinky up a mountain. In fact, I never thought once I'd take the cat anywhere apart from the cattery for cats or the vets for cats.
Sure. I mean, that's why people like them as... That's why they like them as pets, because they're so independent, aren't they? Yeah, arrogant. Yeah. Arrogant.
You had a cat, didn't you, when you was growing up?
Yeah, we had a few cats when I was growing up. Yeah, no, I think I got quite lucky with the cats we had when I was a kid, because they always seemed to be quite soft. It's a good word for our cats. They were always quite soft.
Yeah.
Kind of lap cats. But my mum did have a cat recently, and he was a little shit, because literally every time you would walk up to him and try and stroke him, he would just try and bite you or claw you and then run off. And I was like, fine. Yeah. I don't need you to be my friend either, so, you know, go and scurry off.
Yeah. Hope you choke on a bit of cheese.
Yeah.
Or something, you know, a bit of salmon. Hope it... Verbal. Yeah, actually, that's all I wish on a cat that's mean. Hope you get a furball, because at least then I'm not being mean to a cat. I don't really want cat's protection cancelling me.
Yeah, I hope you have like the worst furball you've ever had in your entire life, you little...
Yeah.
You
fur.
Shitty little scrubby cat, you. Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Cool. Well,
that was Jason's news.
Woo! Well, this has been a hella interesting episode. I have no idea what this edit's going to look like. And
it's going to look fine. You're going to get the recordings, just sellotape them together, intro, outro, and everything else is going to be great.
It is, although I think what I'll do, Jason, is once I've recorded the outro, is I'm going to re-record the intro for you, so at least I have an intro, because I'm very confident I won't have one. Okay. So, yeah, we'll go from there. But, no, dude, it's been a great show. It's been great to talk to you again. And I was wanting to talk to you and get life back to normal properly before I started interviewing anybody else. So give it another week or so, and I will start to look at doing some of these other little things that I want to do, including go for a run with some recording equipment, because I want to test that and see what that comes out like, because I want to do a live interview. Yeah, I want to do a live interview whilst running with people. That's an idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for lots of panting.
No, it's not kind of that running.
No?
Like it is running, but not panting running. Like if we're panting
it's like jogging.
Yeah. It'll be at a relaxed pace so that you can have a conversation.
Well, don't try and interview me while I'm jogging, because I'll still get a lot of panting, so...
I hear you, man. I hear you. Okay, cool. So, Jason Essex, have you any final words for our wonderful guests? No, not our guests. You are the guest. I know you're the co-host. Have you any final words for our wonderful audience?
Oh, man, look, back in the old days, I used to come up with some good ones, I think, but in my old haggard age, brain. I've got nothing, dude. You know.
It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
You know,
nothing up.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to another excellent episode of Utterball, and I hope you have a wonderful time and a great couple of weeks until you hear us again. So
Now, what was the name of your website? You can go out on that. What was the name of your website?
it's not actually live right now. So
Oh, okay. Well, what about if people want to follow you on another podcast? Where do they go? Hit me with that.
yeah, I could do the old. I should do that, shouldn't I? I just never think to do it because I don't do it on my podcast. But I could just do this old school outro, couldn't I?
Just ramp it, man. Go for
All
it.
right, okay. Well, yeah, thanks for listening. You can find me on Twitter at GamerJUK. You can follow my podcast at The Wolfie Pod. You please visit my website at thewolfiepod.com and keep an eye out for somanygames.co.uk, which will hopefully be going live in a couple of months' time. Thank you.
See, and you said you couldn't monologue about an hour ago. You did that amazingly well. Anyway, I'm off to take my cat up a mountain. My name's Liam. Oh, wait, no, that's a load of nonsense, because I want to say if you want to contact the show, you can email me, Liam, at, utterball@gmail.com. You can follow us at Twitter, at Utterball. Don't forget the Facebook fan page. Follow, like, subscribe, throw us a thumbs up, and just be safe, people. Be safe. Anyway, I'm off to take a cat up a mountain. My name's Liam, and you've been listening to Utterball. Sorry, Mum.
Utterball. It's exactly what it says in the title. Utterball is part of the Utterball Podcast Network. Copyright 2024. Sorry, Mum. Do I have to do any more of these, Dad?